Ties are a musical symbol that tell us to tie together or join the rhythmic value of two different notes. Let me explain what I mean by that. And for this example, I'm going to be taking a look at basic rhythmic training number 11. So we see in number 11 a pretty straightforward rhythmic example. We're in 2/4 time, so we know that we have 2 beats in every measure. And in this first line of number 11, we see a half note, and we know that that half note gets 2 beats, 1 and 2. In the next measure, we see 2 quarter notes, one on beat 1, one on beat 2. In the next measure, we see another half note, and that gets 2 beats, 1, 2. In the next measure, we see, again, 2 quarter notes, beat 1 and second one on beat 2. So this is actually pretty easy to perform. We know how to do this now. And I'm ignoring for the moment these lines right here that are connecting the half note to the quarter note. We'll talk about those in just a second. So let me just perform the first 4 measures of number 11. Get my metronome to quarter note equals 100. Ta, 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 ta. Pretty simple. What this tie, though, does, this tie is this line that's connecting the 2 notes. What this tie does is it says, connect the rhythmic value of these 2 notes. So, start here, if we're saying this on ta, start saying ta right here on beat 1 of the half note. Hold it through beat 2 of the measure, just as you would if you were performing a half note. But then, when we get to beat 1 of the next measure, keep holding the ta. Don't re-articulate it. Keep holding it. So we're going to hold this ta for 3 beats altogether. We're going to do the same thing right here. We're going to say ta, and we're going to hold it not just for 1, 2 beats, but we're going to keep holding it right up until the first beat of this 4th measure. And then we'll say ta again here. And just to be clear, that's what we'll do on beat 2 of this measure here. So the first 4 measures of number 11 become ta, 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 ta. That's in essence a way in 2/4 time to hold out a note for 3 beats. If we go to the second measure here, we see a half note, beats 1 and 2. Another half note in this measure, beats 1 and 2. 2 quarters, one on beat 1, one on beat 2, and then a half note. But notice again, the first half note here is tied over to the second half note. And then that second half note is tied over to the quarter note. So that means we're going to hold this particular sound for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beats. So we're going to say, and I'll write it down below here just because I'm running out of room, we're going to say that ta for 5 entire beats. Then we'll re-articulate ta right here, and then say it one more time here. So if I were to just perform that entire second line with the ties, here's how it sounds. Ta, ta, ta. Notice if I were to perform that second line without the ties, ignoring those ties, it would sound like this. Ta, 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 ta. And in fact, sometimes when we have rhythms that are a little bit more complicated that involve ties, sometimes it's useful to start practicing rhythms without the ties and then add those back in. As we get into more complicated rhythms, we will see those, and we'll think about some ways of approaching that. One of the things that is often confusing is the difference between a tie and a slur. A slur is a musical symbol that tells us to connect more than one note, meaning perform it without breaking the sound. But the difference between a tie and a slur, and an easy way to see the difference between a tie and a slur, is that a tie always happens between two notes that are on the same line. A slur happens between two notes that are on different lines. So, for instance, if I had this E right here, if we imagine this was treble clef and this was an E going to an A, if I had a slur, it would be a line but connecting two note heads on different lines. A tie is always going to be connecting note heads on the same line.